Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at PANA by Klevgränd, which is a panning app. It's calling itself the natural Panna. And this pans instruments in a more natural way, as if you were standing in front of them or listening to them. If you think normal panning usually works by decreasing or increasing the volume in either or left or right channel. And you can go hard left or hard right. In the real world, you can't do that. You can't go hard left or hard right with your hearing. You'll always hear something from the left or the right, depending on the volume of that particular instrument, but you'll still pick it up. Your left ear will still pick up stuff that's coming through from the right-hand side. Anyway, Panna does this in a very cool way. We have a size here, which is a kind of relates to the size of a head, and then we have roll off, which puts a filter on the opposite side. And this is how Panna works. It employs very fast delays and filtering to make panning. Okay, so the easiest way to hear this crossover is the level of the internal frequency splitter. You don't need to know all this stuff to understand how it works. You just need to listen to it and you'll go, oh, right, I get it. Okay, so at the moment it's on my voice. Okay, so if I tap on here and drag it over, you will hear that it's now panning over to the left, but you can still hear a filtered version coming through the right-hand side. And this is clever because it doesn't need to reduce or increase the volume of either channel. If we put the roll-off up now, you'll hear that the frequency, the filter will increase the brightness in the right-hand side like that. You can hear it. That's cool. Okay, and the same, of course, for the right-hand side panning. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we can go back. And if we hit mono in the middle, now we'll get our mono signal back. So you can compare the both. If we hit crossover, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You'll hear this better on things like drums and stuff like that. Does come with some presets. Let me just reset that. Does come with some presets, but I would suggest that if you're going to use the presets, make sure you take off pan lock, because otherwise, if pan lock is on and we only have a little tiny bit, every single preset you choose will employ that save pan locking. And if we turn pan lock off, each preset will have its own, preset pan position. Okay, so that being said, we'll leave it on there. Let's go and have a listen to it on these two guitars. So these two guitars are playing exactly the same. I recorded the same sequence twice into Enzo. So it's simple dry chords, just like this. And this was playing exactly the same thing, but me playing it again. And because I'm human and not a great guitarist, I played them slightly differently, obviously, because you don't play everything at the same time. The same each time you play it. So normal panning, if we employ AUM's balance control, normal panning increases or decreases the volume on the left or right channel, depending on how you have your pan position set. Now, this sounds lovely, of course, but it's not the most natural way that you would hear sound. So, for instance, you'll hear the massive difference of the way I played the guitars now as I start to pan these left and right. So I didn't play them exactly the same as you can hear from that example. Let's put Panna in now. And both of these at the moment, let's just put one up here. Let's put one there, so make it slightly bigger. And we'll put the other one kind of just below it. So we have a kind of a left and a right to play with. So we have left and right. So if we play the guitars again, and then I'll start to pan these. This is how you wouldn't. this is how you would naturally hear those two. If you were standing in front of those two guitars, you'd naturally hear them like this, because there is still sound coming through from the other side, sort of thing. So. And we can exaggerate it by running full filter. Okay, the correlation control is basically just a visual representation to see if you're getting phasing issues and stuff like that. And again, of course, we can hit our mono button on either of them. Okay, so there it is on guitar. Two guitars recorded the same. So if you were looking at them on a stage sort of thing. Okay, so okie dokie, let's go back here. And on this piano, I've just got a sequence running on the key step. So let's have a look at Panna, and we can play around with a few of the presets for this one. Now, make sure that I have pan lock turned off so that you'll notice the difference in the presets as I change them. You can hear the crossover there. And then back to mono. So even subtle changes in the actual app will make a noticeable difference, but it's not something that's going to go bash in your face. You're creating a natural environment. If you were mixing a band, if you had the stems for a live performance and you had to mix them, Panna would come in extremely handy, because you would be able to place those instruments in exactly the correct place for staging wise for the listener. Yeah, it's very handy. Okay, so our last example here is I'm going to use Hammerhead and this very strange sequence I've got that I programmed.
Contaminated in his blood. You're the second person.
So that was the heavy panning preset, but I could go back to that, I guess, and you'll see that we have pan lock turned off. So.
And you're the second person who's asked. And only you're the second person who's asked. And only the last couple of hours.
Okay, so now you might notice there's no automation controls. In the real world, you wouldn't really have automation for this kind of panning. However, we do have access to our parameters, and you have access to all of them, and there are only a few. So I have pan selected here, and I have it routed to channel 13, well, channel 1, but control change 13. And that corresponds to control change 13 on Rosetta LFO. I have the rate quite slow, and I have the minimum and maximum set to their maximum levels. And all we need to do is engage this now, and you'll see that
you're the second person.
We're now auto panning.
You're the second person. You think and only the last couple of hours may become contaminated. You're the second person. You're the second person. And only the last couple of hours. You think human beings may become. You're the second person.
So super cool. You can modulate anything you like. Easy to do as well. You just go in here and choose the source, which in our case is LFO. Rosetta LFO, and then you can just pick this. You can either do lane, or if you know the control change number, the CC number, just put it in there, and then give it channel 1 and make sure that you're set here. We can, it's LFO, you know how to do that right. Anyway, so there you go. There is a look at Panna, which is super useful if you're after more natural kind of panning, like if you've got that split mono signal and you want to make it sound kind of super wide. Stop that again.
And you're the second person.
just go back there. So these as opposed to the more normal but unnatural kind of panning, the way that works. So anyway, there you go. They all have their place, but it's nice to have the option to have natural panning, I think. Anyway, cool app. I think it's on sale at the moment as well if you're watching this on the release day of this video, which is 16th of December 2021. But yeah. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you later. If you like the video, please strike the like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra. Cool beans. Panna by Klevgränd.